Hey, Oilers Nation, picture this for a second. A matchup that's about to make Rogers Place shake to its foundations. Trade rumblings that could flip our cup chase upside down, and a gut punch that hurts but won't slow this team down one bit. What's really going on behind the scenes in Edmonton right now? Do you smell something special in the air? Or are you pacing the living room with all these twists? Days like this separate the diehards from the casuals. Trust me, you're not ready for what's on the table today. Grab a seat and let's jump straight into it. And what if I told you Rogers Place is about to be on fire tomorrow night? Just not in the way everyone expected? You can already hear the crowd buzzing, McDavid flying through the neutral zone, and then on the other bench, Sidney Crosby rolls into town for a showdown that feels straight out of a hockey time capsule. Yep, the Oilers host the Pittsburgh Penguins on Thursday, and it's McDavid versus Crosby, the face of today against one of the greatest to ever do it. But hang on, because the real debate is in the crease, and that decision could swing the whole night. Here's where it gets interesting. Stuart Skinner is back in Edmonton after some time away, but Chris Knoplow isn't rushing him back into the starter's net. Instead, the nod goes to Tristan Jarry, fresh off injury and stepping. And again, this will be his third start in 6 nights. 3 games in a week for a goalie who was just rehabbing. That screams load management. Knoplow has been clear. They're easing him in. And honestly, it tracks. Jarry blanked Vancouver on January 17th, then followed it up with a solid effort. In that tough loss to New Jersey on the 20th, since landing with the Oilers, he's been steady. 4 wins, 1 tie, 1 loss. A 2.48 goals against and a .904 save percentage. He's earned the trust. Still with Connor Ingram and Calvin Pickard. Waiting, you can't help but wonder why push it this hard. Keeping him fresh for the stretch drive matters, especially with the Pacific breathing down our necks. The Oilers sit at 2-5-1-8-8, second in the division, coming off that frustrating 2-1 loss to the Devils. It stung, but it also showed how hard this group is to break. The power play is still the best in the league at a ridiculous 32.6%. McDavid is doing McDavid things, driving the offense like nobody else can. Pittsburgh comes in third in the Metro at 24-14-11, fresh off a convincing win in Calgary. They defend well, keep pucks out of their net, and their penalty kill is no joke. Artur Silovs is expected to start, but we all know Crosby, and that group can flip a game in a hurry. Now for the elephant in the room. No Leon Draisaitl, and possibly no Kasperi Kapanen either. He skated at the optional, but he's still a question. Mark, losing dry hurts, plain and simple. He's the engine down the middle. Oilers forums are split right now. Some fans are all in on Jarry, saying he's the future in net. Others are sweating bullets, worried about pushing him too hard. I'm leaning optimistic. Knoplow says Jarry feels great, and moments like this can become turning points. If he holds the line against Crosby, our offense can do the rest. If the Penguins jump on any fatigue, then buckle up. Either way, it's pure drama. And that's not even the wildest part of the day. Because while everyone's arguing about goaltending, the trade buzz is heating up in a way that could reshape this season. The deadline is looming. March 6th is right around the corner, and the question won't go away, what are the Oilers actually going to do? After back-to-back Cup final runs, everyone knows the third chapter has to end with a parade. The start was rocky again, but since late November, this team has been rolling. With limited assets, there's really room for one big swing. And there's a name, or rather a profile, floating around that could check 3 boxes at once. A top 6 winger, a third-line center, and a second-pair defenseman. Tempting, right? Let's break it down. On the wing, Artemi Panarin is the dream. But with that $11.64 million cap hit, even max retention doesn't make it work. Kiefer Sherwood is already gone. Alex Touch looks untouchable with Buffalo rolling. Then you get to the Pacific rivals. Jake DeBrusk in Vancouver is an option, but Blake Coleman in Calgary will be absolute chaos. He's in year 5 of a $4.9 million deal, already at 13 goals in 44 games and tracking past last year's total. He can play top 6 minutes and fits the cap with retention. But Oilers and Flames trades almost never happen. Think back to Lucic for Neal, bad contract for bad contract. This would be a true buyer-seller move, and Calgary would make it hurt. Fans are dreaming about it, but rivalry politics might kill it. Down the middle, there's more flexibility. Names keep popping up. Ryan Strome is familiar. Others cost too much. Boone Jenner stands out. Columbus captain, 32 years old, $3.75 million cap hit. With 50% retention, that's under $2 million. He's hit 20 goals 4 times, winning over half his draws this season, and putting up solid numbers. If the Blue Jackets decide to sell, he checks every box: face-off, leadership, playoff-style hockey. He feels like a perfect third-line fit. On defense, it's all about balance. The left side is stacked. The right side, not so much. Rasmus Anderson is off the board, Doogie. Hamilton is too expensive. Rasmus Ristolainen is the intriguing one. Right shot, physical, strong penalty killer. At $5.1 million, retention brings him into range, but the cap gymnastics would be brutal. That's a lot to pay for a secondary need. Oilers fans are going back. And fourth nonstop, some want Jenner at all costs. Others are dreaming of Coleman lighting it up in blue and orange. Plenty are saying stay away from big money on defense. One thing's clear, any of these moves would deepen the roster for a long playoff run. But just when you're riding that excitement, reality hits hard. Because while we're dreaming about deadline deals, the organization takes a punch. Prospect. Connor Clattenburg just had surgery on his left hand after a bizarre incident in the ALA January 7th in Bakersfield. Condors versus Abbotsford, and he breaks his hand trying to grab a jersey during the fight. Just brutal timing. This comes right after he was finally finding his stride again. He just come back from an eye injury in December, was activated, sent down, and made an instant impact. 5 NHL games, first goal against Dallas, and he brought that edge every shift. Big body, fearless, racks up penalty minutes, the kind of player who changes the temperature of a game. Edmonton signed him for that reason, that raw physical presence. Now he's sidelined again, with no clear timeline. Hand injuries are tricky, especially for guys who play heavy. It's a setback, no doubt. Bakersfield loses a spark plug, and the organization has to be patient. Fans are frustrated, but there's also that belief that adversity like this forges tougher players' dots. So yeah, Oilers Nation, what a day. Jerry gets the crease against Crosby, a bold call that could pay off big. The trade market is buzzing with names that could push this team over the top. And Clattenburg's injury hurts, but it's part of the grind. This is a team built on resilience, depth, and belief. The road to the playoffs is heating up, and Edmonton is right in the middle of it. Now tell me, which move do you want to see the most?